And yeah, to this legendary main event, one could say, versus Uriah Hall versus Anderson Silva. Uriah Hall's the number 10 ranked middleweight at 185. Anderson Silva's currently unranked, but just maintains legendary status.
Just a legend, just an
Yeah,
all-time
his his
legend.
his name alone doesn't need a number by it. And Hall was minus 240 favorite and plus 200 Anderson Silva. This was the classic fight of like the casual trap bet because like every like little Twitter poll and shit I saw like was like had like just the public choosing Silva because he's just the Q rating, the
Really?
yeah,
Oh
just
yeah,
the
that makes
name
sense because they know his
recognition, just
name. They know his
casuals.
name.
I'm talking like Twitter, like not like hardcore fans, like just casuals, like the name recognition. A lot of people grew up watching him, just legendary status. A lot of people don't know who even Uriah Hall is, but I wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid. I pretty much didn't
Yeah.
see this going well for Silva. Just father time's undefeated. You know what I mean?
Well, how'd
And,
you
and
score the first round?
Oh, I scored in that terrific transition, and I thought it was a very pleasant surprise. Silva came out looking great. I gave round one to Silva based off his elite striking, which, the striking doesn't necessarily age poorly. Like, that's not the part people are worried about.
His
The
body was
offensive
looking bad.
just we'll get to it, but just the chin, you can't
Yes.
there ain't shit you can do
Can't
about the chin.
can't eat shots like he used to.
Yeah, 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 and we'll get into that. And that's why everybody today on social media is just saying like, like, oh, I thought Anderson looks great. I don't know why Dana's saying he should retire, but that's
His
like,
first 5 minutes looked great. Everything else past that was a little more tough.
yeah, yeah. And I think you can even split the hairs and say offensively he looks phenomenal. But guess what? It's just like basketball or football. Like it's deep and it's two sides to the game. Like that's
Yep.
literally half of the game. Like if you suck at half, that means 50%. That's a failing grade. And so I think offense. I think he's like one of these teams, like a Big 12 team with a great like Texas Tech with a great offense and a bad defense. But like I mean, that's not going to cut it, especially at that weight class.
It's a really good analogy, actually, to be honest, because like it really is like that where his offense is it can still score at all times. Like
Elite,
yeah, he can still land
elite offense.
he can still land like crazy good shots, combos, good counter strikes, but like he's way too willing to eat a counter strike or way too willing to eat a strike to counter. And he's not respectful of how much the martial arts have come along and how for your like analogy, how good the opposing offense still is when your
Yeah,
defense is that bad.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So actually, and then I don't know if this is spicy or not. I gave round two to Silva too.
I did
Uh,
too. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I actually had 2018 through two. I was like, whoa, we're going to see an upset tonight.
I'll say though, I'll say,
He was slowing down a lot at the end of the second.
well, the first two rounds were just whack. Like if I was a casual, like if I had just tuned in to watch,
Uriah Hall was
everybody keeps
way too
telling me about this
respectful.
Silva guy. I'm gonna fucking watch because everybody keeps telling me how good. If I was just that guy that just like had tuned in to watch Silva because everybody told me how good he is, I would have changed the channel.
Yeah,
Like after those two rounds, like they were kind of, I don't want to say pussyfooting around, but they're kind of pussyfooting around. I
they
mean,
definitely were.
a lot of feints, a lot of feeling each other out, a lot of trying to establish range, but a whole lot of nothing really. But like I said, Silva kind of came out on the better side of the dullness, but it was a weak first two rounds.
I just thought Uriah Hall was way too respectful of Anderson Silva's perceived capabilities. Like, I know Anderson Silva's a great striker, and I know he can do damage, and you got to be careful. But that doesn't mean that you're not also a dangerous striker, or that you
Yeah,
shouldn't take advantage of his lack of defense.
Hall. I think it's safe to say Hall was starstruck, and I think after the fight, as much as I loved it, kind of proved it. Like
Oh, for
you
sure. Holy shit. What the fuck was that?
mentally, Hall wasn't in the best place for that fight, and I don't mean like
He didn't even
depression.
want to fight Anderson. I mean,
He
he did
didn't want
because
to
like for
hurt
the
him. He
prestige, but he didn't
wanted
want to
to
hurt him. And it's like, how do you fight someone but you don't want to hurt him? Like you have to be
exactly.
willing to hurt
He was
someone.
fighting with kid gloves on, as they say. Like it's
Well,
like when you play
Shabbos
your
talked
little
about it.
brother in Candyland, and you try to let him win. Like I don't know, like that's the vibe I kind of got for real.
Well, yeah, like Shabbos talked about when he fought Krokop, like how after the fight, like he wasn't even happy that he won the fight because that was one of his like idols that he like loved whenever he was like growing into the sport. So it was
Yeah,
like for him it was like an honor to fight him, but not good to KO him.
And it's understandable, but you got to have that young lion mentality if you're fighting
You
a
got to be
legend.
trying like Izzy. Like Izzy tries to just like whenever he fought Anderson, it wasn't like he was trying to not finish him. Like he was just like having a good striking matchup with him.
And competitors like Anderson actually, I think, want that. Like Anderson don't want people taking it easy on it, kind of like
Hell
patronizing him. You know
no.
what I'm saying? Like a legendary, like that's embarrassing on his end as a competitor. So like,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know,
almost
man.
disrespectful.
And then so round three ended with a fucking bang, and I essentially think it's safe to say Silva was saved by the bell in round three. Like
Oh, for sure. If that fight
it
was 15 seconds
potentially,
longer, it was over.
yeah, like it could have ended in round three potentially, but I think it was Herb Dean was for the main event, right? So
Which
Herb
he
Dean,
is real sketchy on a quick call. Like he was wanting to step in at the end of this at the
well,
end of the third.
we'll
Like he
get
was
into that.
very close.
Yeah, but
Which I would have disagreed
they
with if he did.
they let him come back out for round four. And then round four, I mean, it's pretty decisive. Uriah Hall, knocks him down. What was the strike that knocked him down originally?
It was just like this, like just it was a clean right, just like a straight
Right.
right.
Okay, yeah, straight right. Okay. And then he drops him. And then it kind of reminded me of the first fight of the night when
Miles Jones.
Johns really didn't want to like drop the hammer. Like I definitely got that same vibe from Hall, but Herb Dean was like, you got to finish him off. But then and then so it's kind of contradictory. But then, in my opinion, shortly thereafter comes what if it was anybody else would be considered a quick stoppage. Um,
Yeah, that's what
but
I
Herb
thought
Dean did
too.
like I don't know, man. Like
But then you
Herb
see
Dean
Anderson
might have.
Silva shoot in on Herb Dean's leg and try to take him down at the end, and it was like, oh, Anderson Silva is fucked up.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think, and I'm so glad you brought that up because I was like in the middle of like saying that was a quick stoppage when I saw that, and
You're
I
just
was
like scratch, scratch, scratch. Like, nope,
like,
nope, nope. It was a good
yeah,
stoppage.
yeah, and I mean, like nobody wants to see Anderson Silva get seriously hurt. Nobody
Right.
want.
That's not what you
Hall
want to
didn't
see.
want to do it.
He was
Like,
super upset. He was saying, "I'm sorry" at the end of the fight.
yeah,
Like, what the
yeah, that
fuck
was.
is that?
It was, I think he took it a little bit too far, and I think it leads to kind of the psychology of what we were saying. He wasn't really like in there, like really going 100%. I don't feel like he gets the win, and I don't even know what that does for him because like rankings wise, I mean, he definitely
I mean, it's not
maintains
really
his,
worth shit. Like, it
yeah, I
just
mean,
keeps
he
his place at 10.
keeps his place at 10 exactly, gives him a check to cash. But,
Do you think
yeah,
it's time for Silva to retire? Like at the end, like he was acting like it was his last fight. He was crying in the octagon, like taking all his time. But then in the post-fight interview, he was like, "I don't know. We'll see. Like I'm gonna go home, talk to my family. Like we'll see if it's my last
yeah,
fight."
but
It's like,
then I don't know if you
hope,
see what Dana. Dana was like, "Hell the fuck no, it's a wrap." Like
yeah,
Dana
thank
treated it the
God.
same as Cowboy Cerrone.
Right, where he was like,
Remember?
we'll
He was
talk about it, but it's over.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He did after Cerrone's last fight. Cerrone was kind of being wishy washy, just like Silva was, and then after the post fight presser, Dana was like, "Nah,
Yeah,
it's
like that. Hey,
over."
that's
Yeah,
over and done with.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's always tricky, right? It's always tricky. Like, when does a great hang it up? But I mean, yeah, Silva. I mean, like I said, if fighting was an offense only thing, then I mean, Silva could fight for 10 more years. But like the
Yeah, if it was a
chin,
striking exhibition, he'd still be at the top, like world class. But like, he just can't take the counter shots.
the chin is gone, and there's no way to build back up a chin. And
Yeah,
like on like a CTE type basis, like once the chin goes, like it's
you're
not.
taking
We
damage,
say
damage.
chin, it's not actually your chin, it's your brain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like your
Like the
brain's
chin
like your
is
switch
like
to
a
cut off.
deceiving term. Like it's your brain's like trying to let you know something. Like it's the same way like we throw up when you get too drunk. Your body's like letting you know like you stop drinking. Like and like it's like if you it's like when you start getting knocked out easier and easier and easier, it's your body telling you to like stop getting hit in the fucking head.
Right.
Like it
Absolutely.
really is. And for that reason, I want to see him done. Like, cause and So I mean, if say in some whack scenario, Anderson Silva, because I know Ariel was saying that I think Silva had one more fight technically on his contract, but like you can't give him another ranked opponent, right? So are we going to see Anderson
What's the
Silva
point, you
as like
know?
a featured prelim against like a prospect? Like I don't want to see that.
Right.
Like
Like,
I
yeah,
don't
like
want to
what's the
see
point?
that.
Like
Like
just
or are we
retire.
gonna give him another old timer fight, like a super old timer? Like nobody wants to see that either. Like it's done. It's
It's
over.
time. I
Like
wrote in my notes too, like I'm glad I hope this is Anderson's last fight. Like